What is going on, people?
Billy's the host. Let's go. Keep it going, dog.
I don't know what you say, man. I always zone out when you talk.
What? So does all the listeners, too. It's fine. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the Top Tier Podcast. This is episode 85.
85?
Yeah,
Woo!
no, damn.
God damn, man.
My name is Brendan. You can, of course, find me on the YouTubes at youtube.com/Retel Factor. You can find this show, the Top Tier Podcast, at youtube.com/Top Tier Podcast. With me today, Esports Money, Behr.
Let's go, baby.
And Billy, the win-win.
Billy is here. Talk about getting money. Fucking bitches.
No.
Billy's such a gentleman.
So
what was
proud
my
of
name? Gentleman.
We were recording.
Gentleman Madman?
Yeah,
or
we
what?
were recording Monday
Some
Night
shit.
Fights, and we looked at everyone's Wu-Tang names.
I don't know why we never looked at yours last time we did it. Because we pulled everyone's Wu-Tang Clan names with, I think it was on an episode with Lou and Ben.
Yeah.
But
We
never
just
pulled
put
yours.
Beirudi in mind. We got Wicked
Forget
Bad,
about me.
Wicked Madman.
Wicked Madman. That was the one. Yeah. It's pretty good, man.
Lou's was Irate Prophet.
Irate Prophet.
Retel's was
Erratic Pupil. Mine sucks, dude. I'm a pupil? Come the fuck on, dude. I run shit. I'm not a pupil.
Pupil, man.
Damn, Retel.
Woo!
That's funny.
That's
really
good. That's good. No, that's good.
How you guys doing?
It's good. I had a break.
Yeah, you got to break. This is I was talking to Behr about this. This is a fucking marathon recording
And
session.
you guys
day.
like, what, 3 hours of recording?
We my voice is starting to get hoarse.
You're like horse. You're horse.
Your balls.
My
Yeah,
voice.
it definitely.
Because we just recorded, as for you guys who don't know, we just recorded 2 episodes of Monday Night Fights.
Yeah.
This is our second podcast we're recording. So we kind of, we're all busy people. We try to fucking jam everything into like one day and one
free
kind of.
day, yeah.
At the same time, not overdo it. Like I think this is just enough where our energy levels.
Yeah.
Stay
Like,
hyped.
I still feel good. Like if I wasn't feeling good, I wouldn't want to record that. Because there's been
Exactly.
several weekends where we just like, we'll record one episode because we're just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't talk to these fuckers anymore, dude.
Yeah, I can't talk to you.
That's mean, man.
Billy, man, Billy's been gaming, guys. I've been proud of
know.
Billy.
Have I? Have
He's
I
been
actually?
on. He's been on that Persona grind. He's been on that Monster Hunter
We didn't
grind.
talk
year
about
later.
Monster Hunter at all
Ah,
last episode.
we did.
Oh,
it.
yeah, because Lou wasn't,
'Cause
unfortunately,
Lou-
not
Lou
in our
doesn't play.
PS4 crew.
I know, because so Billy's now a part of
He is.
the PS4.
I regret it
clan.
so
I thought that I was at a point in my life where I'd probably never play an online game with Billy again.
Why?
Because usually, because I don't
Yeah.
play a lot of games on PC, I will here and there, but we played a lot of like League of Legends and
That was hype back then.
Yeah,
that
we used to
was
play
really
a lot of like League
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
Billy
that
and
was-
stuff.
yeah.
Dude,
back
that
when League
fun.
was like at its prime
Yeah.
audience, it was around like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
like it's still big, but it's
It's
not
still very big, yeah.
It's not what it was.
It's still.
I think it's probably still one of the biggest games in the world.
I think
But
it's-
like,
yeah.
dude, I remember weekends where like LCS would be on, it would be pulling like 200 something K viewers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's insane. Now it's like it doesn't even break 100 at its peak.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean,
It's
the
oversaturated.
industry
right?
just moves so fast.
It does.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. And that's the scary thing because when you gets an audience so fast, you can also lose it so fast
Yeah.
too, right? That's why
The trend,
any of these
trends
games
come and go real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm,
Oh, yeah.
mhm, yeah. So gotta also be careful of Fortnite, right? That game
Fortnite.
could easily just kind of die out and craze. for another
It's
one.
going to. It's going to. Games coming
Like the
you
whole
said.
battle royale thing, like it's
Yeah.
really cool.
That's
And
awesome.
I do like the idea behind it. We had so much fun playing PUBG and stuff.
Oh shit! That's just.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna last. I think like
No.
3-4 years. Like
don't
you'll,
think
they'll-
so.
I hate CS, man.
It
It's-
ain't
it's
It's
CS.
true. Like CS is still.
well, when you have that depth
Consistent.
to a game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Street Fighter, like the CSs and stuff, and where there's so much strategy and there's just there's no real limit.
Yeah.
Of your skill, and those games will last forever.
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Like you could obviously be really good at PUBG, but there's so much randomness
There
in
is,
that
yeah,
game. You
it
know what I
is,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah. That's
Base
yeah,
God.
that's part of the
yeah.
appeal, though, too.
part of
At
the
the same
appeal.
time.
yeah.
But Billy has Monster Hunter, dog.
I enjoy it. Not like you guys going all crazy at like,
Yeah.
like midnight to 4 a.m.
Yeah,
midnight to
we've
6
been going-
a.m.
we're going a little too
It's
ham.
been pretty rough, dude.
Yeah.
There was like when the week it came out, the last couple of weeks, like, dude, I was on like every
Yeah,
night.
you guys are like so. Like you guys just carried me to like your point, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much. I don't want to grind. all
Billy's
the
already
time.
at the end game. He barely
Yeah.
played.
I'm like, I'm
carried
done
him all
with
the
this
way.
game.
Billy's
It's-
good though.
Yeah, I'm okay.
What are you using right now? What class?
Switchblade.
Switch axe or
Switch axe.
Charge-
So it's a charge
charge
blade.
blade.
Charge blade.
Yeah.
Charge blade.
Yeah.
Switchblade, yeah. See, I don't even
Nice.
play the game. I don't even know the fucking weapon.
Yeah, you were
But-
playing around with a few weapons. Then you like started off with like sword and shield, and you were like, "Fuck this."
No, I started off with Lance.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
Lance is
It's so strong.
It's so
great.
effective, dude.
Lance is amazing. I
Yeah.
played Lance when gun lances were really nerfed in like 4.
Yeah.
But then lances just kind of get a little boring though.
They
too.
do.
They
It's
do.
like,
That's the only thing.
That's
yeah.
why I don't use
Poke
lances.
it till it dies, dude. That's all you gotta
Exactly.
do.
I mean, the counter system's amazing.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think you still have the run and the jump in
You
this
do?
one, right?
Yeah.
So you can mount pretty well.
Yeah.
It's a really good fucking
And
weapon
just
class.
I think it has like the best shield. Like
One
it's
of
just
them,
yeah.
really, really good. It's just for me, like when I know I'm gonna be facing something really strong, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of unsure. I'm gonna go with my lance because I'm using lance and hammer.
Yeah.
And so
Nice.
hammer's more fun.
Oh yeah. of
Hammer's
course.
fun as
Spin
hell.
to win,
Just
baby.
spin to win, just Garen that shit.
I'm like you, but I use gun lance instead because gun lance just has that extra spice to it. You
Yeah,
know?
for
The
sure.
fact that you can like
little zest.
yeah, there's this because
Zestiness,
you can
man.
combo. You have to like combo your shots, combo your reloads of
Oh, yeah.
how you reload, and so it's just like a little bit more of a gameplay mechanic for
Does
me.
it use ammo or no?
It does use no, it doesn't take ammo. No. But
Yeah,
you have to reload. You have to
yeah.
reload.
You do have to reload it. Okay.
Yeah. So it was one of the things that was introduced. One of the weapons that was introduced in Monster Hunter 2, I believe. I remember using it in that, and then kind of went through like a gray area. In this game, I feel like they made gun lances really good. And then my other weapon that's probably more fun to use but a lot riskier is the twin blades,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
fucking love the twin blades in this game. You got like the crazy jumping around and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like I was,
So-
that's the cool thing about it is I think that every weapon set can be effective.
There's 14 or 15
Yeah,
weapon
that's
classes.
crazy.
I think it's
And
there.
they all play
yeah.
super differently. Some of them have like, like the insect glaive I was playing for a long time.
It's
That
fun.
has its own meter and it's got
Yeah.
its own like upgrade path for its insects alone. And it's just like what?
It's
just,
especially the new stuff. I'll tell
Yeah.
you the new. I call that the new weapons. It's the insect glaive, the bow, and the switch axe.
I'm playing with the bow right now.
That-
Actually, it's
Yeah.
pretty
those are all like the new. They were introduced in Monster Hunter 4,
oh, okay.
so they're a little bit of the newer weapons. So you can kind of see the difference of design style from insect glaive where you're flying around and doing all this shit to going back to something like dual
I
blades.
started like with the great sword, which is so basic,
It's so basic, but it's fun as
but
fuck.
it's really fun. And dude,
Yeah.
it's so satisfying to nail those big hits.
It
But
is.
that's why I switched over to hammer because it's like a mix. Like you can still be surprisingly mobile with the hammer.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, you can really get like those
Hit
huge
hits.
hits.
You can
Why didn't
stun
you
the
say,
opponent, man.
Yeah, you just
You
gotta keep pounding on the head.
Why don't you like weeb it out with Boris?
Boris actually likes the great sword.
Yeah, now he
does.
he
He's
loves
like,
it.
why
I told
did
him,
he
I was telling him while he was having a hard time learning the long sword. I was like, dude, because you like hard hitters in games. Like when he plays Smash Bros, like he loves Ike.
Yeah.
That's not his main character. Like Martha's his main, but he has the most satisfaction. I'm like, dude, you should play what's fun in this game. And he went to great sword, and he says like, yeah, it was hard. He still mixes back and forth,
Yeah.
but longsword is the weeb weapon that is actually the most popular weapon in the entire game.
Yeah,
It's actually,
it is.
There's
Well,
some
what do you
there's a
expect?
NPC in the game that actually tells you
Tells
the
you,
most
yeah.
popular weapon and the least popular, which is hunting horn.
Of course, it's the hunting horn, but the hunting horn's good.
It's
though.
Man,
amazing.
We need
Yeah.
Roman.
Amazing.
Every time
Yeah.
Roman plays, I'm like,
Our boy Roman, all those buffs, it really helps in on a four player team.
Yeah, really, really good for sure. What a game, though, man! The Capcom, I was totally right with my prediction. Like I felt like this game was going to be a huge hit, and I don't know if Capcom was ready for the success of this game
It's so fine because
We
man,
think
we
we
were
broke
just
PSN
talking
like
about
4 times.
Capcom last episode
Yeah.
and how they're shit in the bed with all their fighting games.
yeah,
But everything else around that, they're kind of killing, dude.
You know
like,
what?
Resident Evil 7 was so good.
Yeah, it was
Best
good.
Resident Evil game
Yeah.
in like 10 years. And then you got shit like Monster Hunter that's slaying it as well.
There's been an article recently, though, that one of the heads of Capcom was saying that their main focus next is quality control, which
Yeah.
is definitely the right mindset.
Oh, yeah, for
that
sure.
they need to get to. But the reason why Monster Hunter I think was so successful is obviously that team is so talented. One, as is every team for a successful game, but also they haven't changed the formula for Monster Hunter. Like if you go back and you were to play Monster Hunter 4, 3, 2, 1, like the formula is generally the same of you're hunting fucking monsters, the way you
Yeah.
hit them and all.
The
There's
gameplay
just
loop.
the gameplay loop is exactly the way it gets its hooks on you is exactly the same as it was 10 years ago. So it's just cool to see it now back on a console.
Do you think because it's now a home console instead of like the handheld form, is that why it's so huge right now?
Yes.
Probably, most
Yeah.
likely.
Because Monster
Yeah.
Hunter's been huge in Japan, but that's because Japan handhelds like reign
So
supreme.
big,
Yeah.
You know
it's
what I
also
mean?
because they have like blanket internet everywhere.
That's
pretty
exactly. It was not only that, it was an amazing time to release the game.
Yeah.
Early January
Oh,
or late January, I should say.
It's what the same release for Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7, exactly. It's a good time to release the game because people are now over
good
their
spot.
quarter 4 games. They had that Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
They're ready for the next thing to get them into the new year. So
This game's gonna last, I think, for a while.
Oh,
All the
yeah.
Monster
They
Hunters
push
do.
them-
They do.
Monster Hunter's got a really diehard community.
And they're very good with DLC, like really good with DLC. Like Monster Hunter 4 had like Devil May Cry armor. It had like just things, all these
Dante
obscure.
Ryu came out today.
Ryu
dog. You
came
gotta
out.
do
That's
that.
right. Yeah. Yeah, I was playing with a friend of mine. Yeah, he was.
I'm so weak.
And you can like Shoryuken, you can
Shoryuken.
Hadouken. I saw there was a great Jagras quest with Shoryuken only or Hadouken only because it only does like 20
Is it
damage.
like
or
its
something.
own like weapon set or like?
It's an
weapon or-
emote.
Oh,
So
it's
you
an emote?
so you can set it on your radial menu.
Yeah.
So then you can just always access it real quick and do it real quick. It's fucking funny.
That's so funny.
Oh, I gotta
It's
get
really
on this.
funny.
I haven't touched it in like 3-4 days because I'm a year
fine.
behind playing
fine.
Persona 5.
Yeah, that's good, man. Persona 5, amazing game, arguably a better game than Monster Hunter to some people. So,
They're so different.
They
they're
are so
different.
different.
It's like,
way
yeah.
different. Way different.
but I can
Depends on who you
understand how
ask.
Persona 5, if you're already in that world,
I'm hooked onto it.
yeah,
right
how
now,
you,
man.
it has its hooks on you more than Monster
Yeah.
Hunter at the moment. So
Billy's already further than I ever got in the game.
Yeah,
How are you liking it, Billy?
Oh, I love it, man. I'm in the period right now.
dude, you got to go back and play Persona 4, man.
I
You
thought
do.
I can,
Yeah.
Persona 4 is great. I'll
you
lend
have
you. I'll lend you my my PlayStation TV.
Oh, he has it. Okay, good.
Oh,
so
I was
you
gonna-
can play on your big screen
Oh, nice.
That's what I did to my entire household. I gave it to my brother and my
Really?
brother's girlfriend
on the
so-
PSTV.
On the PSTV, and they just played
Sweet.
on
good way
that.
to play.
I know. I bought one right away.
It still looks good on PSTV too.
Yeah, it does.
Looks good.
Alright,
enough.
very, very solid.
I'm excited. I will play that after I
Yeah.
kind of beat Persona 5 plus New Game Plus.
Yeah, beat 4 and then play Persona 4 Arena. It's a fighting game, but actually has a big story chunk in it too.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
And you
you'll
gotta
like
check out Persona Dancing All Night.
Yeah, no,
I think that should be my
you
first.
can,
purchase
yeah,
play
you,
that
sh-
game right
you
now.
can skip Dancing All Night, but it's a good game. I own Dancing All Night.
you really?
Yeah, I do. I
Yo,
do.
let me borrow
Physical
that,
copy?
man. Physical
Yeah,
copy?
Yeah, I have a physical.
Ooh, let me
but
borrow
Dancing
that.
All Night is on
It's on Vita.
Vita.
I'm gonna borrow that Vita, man.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
play it on Vita TV. There you go.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah,
Vita,
lend
man.
it to
I bought a Rezo gun recently just to play on the Vita.
Damn, you are on that Vita grind. Hey,
Dude,
and
I own a Switch too, by
I know.
the way.
I was about to say you don't like. I go on my Switch. I was like, who's on? Well, what's Behr been up to? Yeah, we'll touch that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just Zelda a little bit. Like I'm just playing. Zelda is amazing. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'm always. It's kind of like my. Anytime I really feel like playing something in the bed or something like laying down, Zelda's so good. But Vita is just. Oh, the games
Yeah.
are so good. There's so many, like, variety of games. You know, there's
Yeah.
like shooters. There's all, especially the indie titles are really really good. So I still love that machine so much.
Yeah,
It's
I
fun.
played. It's so funny. I played most of my Vita when I'm fucking like away on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So I would bring it on planes. That's honestly the only time I ever played my Vita.
Vita, yeah.
And it's cool because you like the catalog is really good, especially when you factor in it's got like every good PS1 game on there.
So ahead of its time.
Yeah.
You know, you look at even the what is the 3DS Pro or whatever, the new 3DS.
Yeah.
Sorry, is what it's called. And you compare it with the original Vita, because Vita it had one slim model, right? But if you look at the OLED one that released in 2012, I believe.
It's the one I have.
Holy
It's
shit!
the
it
superior
looks,
version.
It looks so good. Like
Yeah.
it's the screen is much nicer than like any version of the 3DS.
Of course,
And
dude.
it stood the test of time.
The resolution on the 3DS is rough.
Oh, it's abysmal. Yeah,
It's rough.
that's pretty bad.
For people to be playing it still, they're still releasing games for it
Yeah,
in
yeah.
2018.
For the
That
3DS,
shit
you're
is-
talking about? Yeah,
Yeah.
the 3DS sold so much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Vita still gets these
tens of
quirky,
millions of them out in the wild.
quirky indies here and there, and that's what's keeping it alive, right? It'll get like Windjammers on it, but it'll get like good games like Valhalla and what's that? Undertale was a big release for it.
Oh shit!
Because
I want Undertale to come out on Switch.
yeah, there's a lot of games that don't come out on Switch that come out on Vita, which is really cool.
They
Why
gotta
is
put
that, though?
they
Why
gotta
is
put Undertale on
I
Switch.
think they will. I think it's a programming thing. I think they made it very easy to port the
Nice.
programming to Vita. If your game is like, you know, obviously under a certain graphical threshold,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, fucking ROM 2064 read-only memories finally came out on Vita. The developers thought that they were never going to be able to release that.
Didn't you buy the physical copy of that?
I
one?
did. I bought that on limited run games. The only thing I will buy on
Limited run?
Yeah.
A lot of their shit just sells so quickly too. But I guess that's the whole point.
Yeah, the one game I wish I got from them, which isn't one that even a lot of people desire, but I wish I got a game called Absolute Drift physically from them, because they released a physical copy of that, and that's a fucking
I
fun
haven't even
indie
looked
game.
at what they offer.
Absolute Drift. Get that shit from my account, Retel. It's a fun game. Yeah. You don't want to drift, dude? God damn,
No
all
one
right.
cares,
don't
man.
drift.
They don't understand.
They don't
Initial
understand.
D.
They don't understand. They need to just watch Initial D. then fucking Retel's gonna be begging us to drift.
I know, man.
He'll be on your door
I
every
was-
day.
but
Hey, can I drive?
How many episodes of the initial D anime are there? There's like a
5 seasons.
shitload, isn't there?
There's not a lot. It's not a shitload. I would
It's
not
not
say
a
a
shitload.
shitload.
5 seasons sounds like a lot.
Well, first season's 24 episodes,
Oh.
then it's.
I remember third
tw-
season's a movie.
movie.
Second season's 12 episodes.
Yeah, and then it's 24, and then it is
Wait,
back
wait.
to 12.
So first season's 24 episodes.
Yeah.
Second season's a movie.
12. No, second season's 12 episodes.
12 episodes.
Third season's a movie. Fourth season is around. I think
it's
13.
20. I think it's at 24.
It's 24. Okay,
Yeah.
24.
Fifth season's about 13. I think.
13, and
fuck
then the
is
last
going
final
on
stage
over
is like 4 episodes to finish it off.
That's true.
You didn't finish the final stage, did you?
No, I did. I thought I did. Isn't that when he races the kid at the end?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
finished it. Yeah. So you
I
finished
did
it,
finish it. Of
Yeah.
course, because I was watching it at that point like crazy. And I think it just came out by the
Yeah,
time
you
I
were
caught
lucky.
up.
Yeah, you were
So I was
lucky, man.
really, really lucky with that series for sure. Yeah, I remember that last race. was cool.
Anticlimactic in my opinion, though.
Yeah, it wasn't.
course it
It wasn't the most interesting race.
But the race before though, Cascades race. was,
Yeah.
like, the
You know,
best.
These nerds over
Takumi
here.
is like people think you think he's the main character of that show, and he
Yeah.
kind of is. But it's KSK, I think.
Cascades at the end.
Because he's the one who develops the most, and
Yeah.
he's the one you root for the most, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, even Takumi is like near the end of it, he's like, I'm fucking afraid to race this
Yeah,
guy.
I don't
Like,
think he'll beat
I don't think
Keisuke.
he'd beat him either. Yeah,
And he gets the girls, man.
Yeah,
he
he does,
breaks
yeah.
their
It's
hearts.
like with Dragon Ball Z, like Gohan was meant to be the main character, but Goku is too popular, so that's why
Yeah.
they had to change it
Had to
and
change
make
it.
Goku the main.
No,
the main
Vegeta
squeeze.
is the main character from my
Vegeta, yeah. Vegeta gets screwed over a lot, though.
He
Like,
does.
a lot of
Exactly.
times you think that Vegeta always gonna get the limelight, and
He won't.
just gets slapped in the face, all the Vegeta fans. But
Yeah.
My
he still
favorite-
has a lot of cool moments.
My favorite part from Vegeta is when he bitched out against Broly.
Oh, yo, that's not canon, dog. That's not
It's not canon.
canon.
Canon
Canon
Come on,
enough to me,
Come
man.
on, man. No.
That's
But-
good times.
Good times for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All
What a
right.
good time to be a nerd.
That's great.
I always think about that. I just maybe it's such an old person thing to think about, but there's so many times where I'm just at a movie theater and I'm like, I am living in one of the best generations it is to
I think so.
live in. Like
think
it's
so.
just so much cool shit coming out, so much cool shit to go back and watch that you don't know about.
Like yeah, I was in. Me and my girlfriend, we watched Black Panther just last night, and like every fucking major, like obviously every trailer was just like nerd shit.
Yeah.
I was like, we got Star Wars up in here, we got Venom, we
Yeah,
got Avengers. I'm just
Yeah,
like, this
yeah.
shit is insane.
it's amazing.
this is the world we live in.
It's good.
So cool, so cool. And if you get into reading like comic books and some other forms of media, holy shit.
That's the way to go, man.
It goes pretty
It's way
nuts.
deep. It goes so deep.
It goes so deep. Yeah, there's a lot of you got to really trust people's reviews when it comes to comics because there is a lot of series that just end up being shit. But as
Like
as
anime.
with all things, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So last episode we read some questions from our
Woo!
top tier Discord channel.
What? We actually have questions? Oh, actually, no. I'm on the
So
channel.
Billy, are you
Yeah.
in? Yeah, I was giving everyone shit last episode because we got like a top tier podcast Discord.
Yeah.
Where the only top tier members who are in it right now are like me and you, and Whitney's actually in it.
Yeah, I'm in
Oh,
it.
nice.
I'm actually an admin,
But,
but
like-
no one talks to me about it.
But like Ben, Bear, Lou.
No one cares about me because I'm the least
everyone
what
loves
are
interesting.
you.
you
What are you
fucking
talking
talking
about?
about, dude?
Billy's been on a tear in Monday Night Fights, man. This
No, it's
guy,
only,
wait till
that's
you
only
guys see.
one game. I got fucked up a few times. Well, all the time.
And of course, you can find our top tier Discord channel in the description in this video, and it's also in the description of the audio, the podcast itself.
Wait, what? We have an audio version?
Yeah, up on iTunes,
Oh, what?
up on SoundCloud.
Oh, what?
Oh.
This is a question from your boy Swag C.
Ah, yes.
Who's an old school listener.
Yes, yes.
Oh, damn.
Remember him.
Yeah, we had all these. Everyone's coming out. Yeah. We got. So yeah, Swag C. What, in your opinion, is the most iconic sports car?
Ooh, that's a
Perfectly
great
ties
question.
in to the initial D. Oh, those are not really sports cars.
They're sports cars.
They are
They're
sports
Japanese
cars.
sports
They're
cars.
Japanese
Japanese
Yeah.
sports cars. Okay.
But if we're talking about iconic for North America,
Yeah,
easy,
that's
the
the
Mustang.
Mustang.
Yeah, that's pretty iconic for America.
For America.
America. No, that's the thing. Like every area is gonna have its different. Like,
Yeah, if-
Europe's gonna have a completely different choice
Yeah,
as well,
probably have-
right?
I'm personally thinking in Europe, it's like a Ferrari.
Just
or something,
Ferrari?
obviously.
Look, yeah.
If we're
the
talking about if you're
Ferrari.
Iconic?
Ferrari's the bread and butter. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you look at like even the Lamborghini Diablo.
Yeah,
Is
but-
like such an iconic
Those
car.
are, yeah, those are
when
like
you
the two major ones because it's like, oh, if you think about a sports car, you
Yeah.
don't think about like the generic, mass-produced
yeah.
consumer car. It's one supercar, so it
Yeah.
has to be.
And those
one of
cars
the
are so
things.
iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Of
look at
course.
like there was
The
nothing.
look
that-
of like the
the
Ferraris.
Lambo or the
Yeah, Lambo.
Ferraris. Yeah, are
Those
so
gotta be the
cool.
two.
Those are two, yeah.
Like the Ferrari Enzo, how it had the little dip to reference Formula One
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
hood. It was just
Mm-hmm.
just like little things like that that are so cool. But what's a personal one for you?
Mine?
Because this is definitely very region based. Like America, it's probably Mustang.
sure.
Mustang for sure. Mine,
The muscle cars.
What do you think it is in Japan? Actually,
Skyline.
The Skyline?
Skyline. It's true. For me, I also would say like NSX.
Yeah.
NSX.
Yeah.
NSX
Shit,
is
you're
kind of
right,
like
you're right.
it's kind of up there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess because they're making GTRs are Skylines are just so
Yeah. They're iconic. They're Godzilla, right?
They are,
They're
that's true.
legit called the Godzilla in Japan.
That's true.
Europe, it's like if we're not talking about mass produced. The Porsche, man. If you look at a Porsche,
I was about to say
Yeah.
Porsche. Like if we were to have to pick a personal favorite, dude, the Porsche, the 911.
good.
Come on.
yeah, 911
Porsches
is
are
pretty
pretty
awesome.
sweet. 911s are pretty affordable now too, aren't they? Like if you get an older one.
Actually, well, yeah, it's like still 70, 80 grand if it's a good
Oh, is
one.
it still 70? Oh shit. Okay. Because I remember I asked my
This is
oldest
Canadian,
brother.
not
Yeah, I remember asking my oldest brother. This was years ago. I was like, if you had like 40 or 50 grand just randomly to drop, on an older car,
Oh yeah.
and then
of course.
for some reason he said I would get like an older 911 because they're like you can actually get them for pretty affordable.
Yeah, if you get it like a 98 or something,
Yeah,
you should be able
yeah.
to get it for like 40 to 50. For
My
sure.
only knowledge of any of these cars is like from playing like Need for Speed, Hot
Pursuit.
Pursuit back in the day. dude.
Hey man,
Underground's the way to go, man.
Well, I eventually did switch to
Yeah.
Underground, but like
Yeah.
I don't know, something about Hot Pursuit was so fun,
That's
dude.
good.
Hot
It was
Pursuit
really
2.
good, man.
Those games were sick.
They had some weird ass storyline that was actually captivating, in my opinion.
Really?
It was
I
like,
don't even
ooh.
remember what it was, dude.
but what's your iconic personal?
What's yours?
Personal?
Yeah.
It's gotta be the Skyline,
It's
though,
the
isn't
Skyline, yeah. That's like my.
it? You used to talk about it all the time.
I
on the
still
old
want my.
podcast,
I
even.
still want my Skyline.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
eventually,
Yeah.
I'll get one. After the wedding, after I have kids or something, and
Yeah.
maybe I make a little more.
You want a GTR? You want an R32?
R34 GTR?
Dude, those are harder.
There's like
harder.
80 grand still.
No,
Canadian.
they went up recently.
They went up again.
They went up because they just became legal in America, like literally 6 months ago.
Oh no, it's R32. You're talking about
Bear knows
R32.
all this shit? What the
R34, I'm talking about.
R34 20. It has to be 25 years for them.
Really?
Yeah, it's 25 years.
Oh, I guess
Why?
there may be because I could have sworn that I heard recently. I think I was talking to Gary or something like that.
Did he?
I thought that the R34s now are really hard to come by. Like
Oh,
now
wow.
that they skyrocketed in like a little jump in price because they're
Yeah.
that's gonna happen to the Supra soon too.
It's gonna happen.
To the right-hand drive Supras, if you're okay with right-hand drive.
we'll
but the
be
good thing
fine.
about the Skylines, they only made them right-hand
Right-hand
drive,
drive.
right? So if you want like a Supra in the States, you're gonna
Yeah.
be paying like literally like an extra 40%.
Yeah, shit. There's only
Those
two
cars retain their value, though.
They do,
That's
they
the
do.
one thing. That's one of the best investments you could have made if you loved those cars 10 years ago.
There's
is-
two cars that I love. 1A, 1B for me is, it's the FD, the RX-7.
Yeah, RX-7.
Because of,
It's
of
amazing.
initial D, and Skyline because I love that car when I first saw it. I loved it until now. I still love that car. I want it.
It's cool. It's very
Yeah.
cool. Would you hate me if I said that I really like the R32? One of them. That one
No,
has the
I agree.
most special plays. Like if
No.
I were, obviously if I had a choice, I get the most expensive one.
yeah.
But if I were to like buy one with my own money, I'd
shit.
probably buy an R32.
Me too. I'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like because it's so much cheaper. It's like what?
It's cheaper. It's just like I don't know. There's something
It's
that's
just
so
nice.
iconic
It's
about
nice.
the car.
I
But-
definitely would still love that car. Any Sky, actually not the R33. I'm not a fan of it.
Oh no, are there 30?
That's the worst one. That's the worst one.
That's the bastard child of that
that's the
whole.
best. Yeah, R32, R34, or even the old school like Datsun or whatever.
Dude, Datsuns look fucking nice.
I know.
Yeah,
They talk about the 70s, like
Well,
70s, 80s and shit.
yeah.
I'd buy a
that's-
Jeep.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah. I mean, don't buy a new Jeep because Jeep sucks now. They're
I'd
shit.
buy like
brand.
one of the old
Appreciate
school
it.
Wranglers.
Yeah,
dude.
buy
No,
the
dude,
old-
those things are
Those are
amazing.
awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
those are cool.
Can't go over like 100 kilometers per hour though.
No, well, it's not
No.
about speed, dog.
Still want to get a Supra eventually.
We will eventually.
Just,
Once we make more money.
They're going up in value, and the longer we wait, I think the
Make
first
sure you guys
this
sponsor us
year.
on Patreon right now.
Yeah, this is the first year where the first year Supras are starting to become
Legal in
legal
the
in the
States.
and I think that's why the R34 is starting to go up in value. I think it's the first year ones are starting to slowly dish out.
Oh yeah, it's getting there.
It's getting there. Yeah, so I think people right now are starting to buy them, to stockpile them, to sell them.
Holy shit, you're right, man.
Yeah.
It's 98.
It
Holy
is.
fuck.
Yeah, that's what I said. So I was right. Right?
Oh my god.
No, I'm sorry, Billy. Your car
Bear,
just went up.
I had no idea you were this into cars. I had
He
no
is.
fucking idea.
He is, man.
I grew up with my oldest brother. And
Always-
I loved cars growing up. But if I wasn't into games, I think I'd.
You
go-
would have got a car right now.
You just
Well, I would have just been a full-on car guy. I think I
you
would have
would
probably
have started a car YouTube channel.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of douchebags in the car YouTube game, man. There's a lot of fucking douchebags. There's a lot of good people too,
Won't get me
course.
wrong, of
but
course.
there's probably more douchebags.
I know. Same with
Right.
everything though, right?
It is, yeah.
Thank you so much for the question,
Great question
Swagsy.
for me and Behr, not Retel.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I input nothing. I contributed nothing
You
to
can
that.
choose
Yeah.
the Jeep.
It's fine.
The
I
Jeep.
drive a Jeep.
Yeah.
This is a question from Sad Little Pun Pun.
Ooh.
Getting some new names here.
Ooh, qu'est-ce que c'est,
Which is
man?
what are some of the best costumes in fighting games?
Ooh.
Ooh, I can't put any input here.
The new Blanca one looks fucking legit.
Have you seen this one, Bill?
Is it the one that with the crazy ass pixel, like really bad?
Well, yeah, he looks like a plush toy.
He's
Yeah.
like a plush, yeah. Oh man, there's been so many good ones, and we're totally gonna forget some good ones.
Bear's favorite is MK9 Melina.
Oh
He
yeah, yeah. The bandage wraps.
Bandage wraps.
Yeah,
She's like barely- she's basically
I think to
naked.
unlock that, you had to beat all 300 challenges.
Oh, they made you work
Yeah,
for
they
that
made you work.
shit, dude.
And I fucking worked.
Did you unlock that
I
shit?
did, of
you
course, man.
did,
I wasn't
dude.
that.
I'm
Road to
nine.
300.
Right.
Yeah, I wrote to
Road to
300, baby. I
300,
got
baby.
copyright
Let's go.
strike for all those videos.
Oh,
Dog.
really? Actually?
Yeah, because I used Skrillex's intro song. So.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
It's not about the monetization, dog.
It was not. It's never about the monetization. Oh man, so many good ones. Hold on.
Yeah, this one requires a bit of thought.
All the bandage ones.
There's a lot of even like recent ones. I mean, even Capcom's been doing a pretty good job with like this is a beautiful Joe Rashid I
Yeah, that one's dope.
like. But no, you go back.
I want that. I want to play Nash just for that Captain Commando costume, dog. That shit's dope as hell.
That's dope as fuck too. Yeah. Going back, Street Fighter 4 had some cool. Like I like the Freddie Mercury Dudley one. Just as a more basic one.
Oh man.
So many good
Yeah,
ones,
this
man.
is-
Yeah, there's so many. You even go back to like Marvel games, too. Like MVC3 had some solid ones too that I really liked.
The
like, I
original
loved-
Spencer from MD.
No, no.
Honestly, that was the best version.
Yeah, it was
of
Exactly.
Spencer.
I liked. I liked the Mega Man Frank West a lot. And,
Yeah.
but we're missing so many good ones here.
Proto Man Frank West
Well,
in
yeah.
Marvel Infinite.
Oh yeah, that exists. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot they had
That
a.
exists.
That is a thing.
That
See
is
how
a
much
thing,
Bear
actually.
plays.
Oh, dude, even the Infinite had some cool ones. Like I loved
Yeah.
the Nova Prime Nova was pretty fucking awesome. Where he was just like bursting with all of his power. You know, like the comic Gamora one. Even though Gamora's fucking model just looks so jank in that.
Yeah. Everything
Whole
looks
game's
jank about
jank,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, you can also just look at like Tekken of just creating your own costumes. That doesn't really count.
Baseball Yamcha, man.
Baseball
Ooh,
Yamcha.
yeah. I mean, dude, if they add the baseball Yamcha as an outfit,
Yeah, it'll be
and then I would love to see Saiyaman as an outfit. But yeah, this is a very very difficult one.
This one, like, yeah, fuck. I wish I
Unlimited.
had time to think.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, we're thinking, but. That's one thing because they outsource to really talented artists a lot of these costumes. There's always some really sweet costumes to come out. And they always lazy out with a few as well because Capcom.
Orange Wolverine.
Orange Wolverine.
MVC2.
Wolverine had the one where he was straight out of the fucking
yeah. The little chamber. Thing,
the
right?
chamber exactly.
Oh
Yeah,
shit, that's right.
was a
yeah,
cool
yeah,
one,
He had the
too.
metal shit on his face and stuff. That's right.
that was a very very sick one.
They don't even have Wolverine name and
And it's funny because there's sometimes some costumes that just release them like I'm buying this right away. Like if you love a character and anyone listening to this podcast could probably relate to this is like, and they release a cool outfit for your character, you will pay out the money, man. I even remember like fucking League of Legends when
Don't
we were
even
into
talk
that.
about that.
Oh my god.
It's embarrassing of how much money we spent on that,
we
but
spent quite
it
a
was,
bit.
dude. When you love like
I have a
any,
$30 Udyr skin, dog.
oh god, yeah.
That's the best skin though.
That's his best skin for
I
sure.
remember when
Oh,
Pulsefire
man.
Ezreal, dude.
Pulsefire SJF.
Everyone got that skin.
So
I remember Space Nautilus. I was so hyped for.
That's a great skin.
That was an
man.
awesome one. I remember the Hecarim ones too. There were some good ones. Yeah, that was cool. But anyways, that's a difficult question. Definitely one that I would love to like just research with online a little bit. to
Yeah,
think about. But you know, it's funny because games in the '90s and even for a while, like they didn't have costumes, alternate costumes. This is kind of more of a
No.
newer thing, more like PS2 generation and up. And then
Yeah.
obviously they started to become DLC.
I mean,
as it went on.
It's good for the developers because
course.
they need to make money off the game that's already been released.
It is,
right?
yeah. It's a good way to make money, but the one thing that developers need to do if they sell a shit ton of costumes is add some free content too. Like add like a free expansion because hey, we're making good money. Don't just always make it monetize everything, right? When there's an expansion and all these costumes, like player base can get overwhelmed with how much everything's starting to cost. Like people aren't stupid, they start adding up. Like, hey, I spent spending $150 on Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Why is that a thing? Like it fucks with you. All right, Retel.
Best costume right fucking here,
Oh,
dude.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
That is a
But
good
then
one.
he is Metal Gear in NBC 2. You can actually play as Metal Gear.
Street Fighter
1
4.
or
Yeah,
1.
that's true. You
Metal
turn
Gear.
you
You
yeah.
can turn into
That's
Metal
true.
Gear.
Yeah.
And he's actually heavier.
Does he look like this though? I think they redesigned it a little bit.
A
Did
little
they?
bit.
A
No,
little
he
bit.
looks like that.
Does he look exactly like? Okay.
Either way, one of the best.
One of the
It is a very good one.
Very very good one
Geef
for sure.
is amazing.
You know, Mortal Kombat. I'm glad they sometimes add like classic renditions of costumes
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff like that. I almost wish they did it a little bit more, but they do definitely have some solid costumes in there.
Need that zombie Liu Kang, dog.
Zombie Liu Kang. No, dude. When Zombie Liu Kang was a thing in Deception, I made sure to
bad.
use like the young Liu Kang
course.
skin. Thank God they had that.
Holy crap.
My
Oh,
God.
thank Ed Boon's
So,
eyebrows.
Those
man.
3D Mortal Kombat games, let's never speak of them again, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
We were talking about Armageddon.
We were talking about Armageddon.
Armageddon?
Armageddon. Thank you so much for the question.
Great question.
Sad little pun. And we got one more here from The Paper Flame.
Ooh.
New name?
Best horror games.
Ooh.
I want to hear this from people who don't generally play horror games, which is YouTube.
I mean, you have to obviously give Resident Evil the respect
Clock Tower.
where
is
it's
really
due.
good.
Clock Tower is
Clock
very
Tower.
good.
The
The one that always sticks with me, it's not even a fucking game, is PT. Because it's like,
course.
it's not, it was never a real
That
full
game
game.
was
Because I just
rough.
felt like
It
that was,
great, dude.
that
It
was,
rough.
that was a game that would have been probably the horror game we would have all been talking about if there was like 5 of those cases in the game. But yeah,
PT was crazy because you had to do some like fully complete it to unlock like the Silent Hills trailer at the end.
Yeah.
You had to do some ridiculous
Some
shit you would
ridiculous
never
stuff.
think of.
And it was
like
really
you
creepy,
had to
man.
plug in a mic and repeat a certain phrase at one point.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how the internet figured this shit out,
Yeah.
dude. But it's like shit got deep. There was stuff hidden in the pause menu.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was crazy.
Dude, it's too much for me, man.
It was crazy. The rabbit hole goes deep.
Yeah, you have to give Silent Hill a lot of credit. I don't know if it's fully considered a full-on horror game, but
Well, the first one,
Parasite
probably.
Eve at its time was
Yeah.
was pretty cool. But definitely Silent Hill and Resident Evil are 2 games that really stand out. And it's crazy to think how long it took the horror genre to really start to happen, right? It took until really PlayStation 1 where people and developers were really thinking that, hey, now we have the audio horsepower and
Yeah.
the visual horsepower
Start
to
making games
start
scary because they were not a
everything.
thing like in the Super Nintendo. Like
Yeah.
How can you
how
do
can
that,
you?
man?
Yeah, it wasn't.
It's like a
just
pixel.
wasn't a thing.
I'm
There
sure
was,
if
you-
there was horror themed games.
There were.
You had shit like Splatterhouse, and then of course stuff like what was it that?
But they weren't like scary.
That
right?
Japanese game was that Resident Evil was based off of. I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
Oh, really? I never even.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like an NES like Japanese
Oh, wow.
Make a video.
game. Yeah, maybe.
History of Resident Evil, Retel's favorite series. Not gonna lie, I think it's his favorite series.
It is my favorite series. Of course.
Yeah.
If I were to pick my favorite horror game, it's Resident Evil 1 remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The-
so good, dude. And then I love Resident Evil. I love Resident Evil 2 as well, but remake I gotta give it up. Like
Yeah.
that game was something else.
yeah. I haven't gone through it all yet, but what I've seen of Until Dawn too, you got to give
love
them
Until
some.
Dawn.
You have to give them some respect for what they did there, because that's not
But what's the best series though?
the best. Oh, man.
That's what the question is.
You know, it would have been a clear answer. Like I would have not hesitated to say Resident Evil if like 5, 6, and
Yeah, but
Honestly,
if you
but
want to
then-
judge it on the whole
Yeah.
series,
the whole series, it's probably you have to give it to them.
Resident Evil. Is
Yeah.
probably
Yeah, as a collective, they are the strongest
the best
horror
series.
team. I mean, you can also
most
give
iconic,
most iconic. It's been around and it's stood the test of time.
and
still going.
and it's been able to reinvent itself a couple times now, which is kind of insane. With Resident Evil 4,
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
that took it in Resident Evil 4 is amazing, but some people are like don't like it because it took the series in a direction that kind of took the horror out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you had games like 5 and 6 were action games.
And I'm glad they went back to their
And
core.
then and then they reinvented again with Resident Evil 7, and Resident Evil 7 was fucking amazing.
Amazing.
That was the
great.
VR one,
Very
right?
cool.
Yeah, well, it was you could play it without VR, but yeah, the whole game was made in VR, which is insane. Which is probably one of the scariest experiences you could probably like. Bear, I really,
No.
as a Patreon exclusive, you need to play through the first opening act of that game.
Oh my god.
You got to do
It's
it.
just, the sound fucks me up.
Yeah, no, it's fucked, dude.
Because
I've
you're
I've
immersed.
done enough VR to know that if I were to play a VR like horror game, I would shit my pants.
And just the intro. Have you seen any?
I
Resident
think
Evil 7?
I've definitely seen
The
a lot
intro
of
is so
gameplay of it.
intense.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
Shit. Yeah, you got to really give respect to a lot of these newer games that are coming out too. Like a lot of people I know love Amnesia. You know, the Outlast series is something fresh too, a little bit more towards the I don't know, gory side. And it's cool to see people kind of finding their own niches. And hell, some people are probably listening to this and going to say that Doki Doki Literature Club is one of the best horror games that ever came out.
It's like a visual novel.
Point and click?
Yeah.
No, it's like all visual novel. I don't think it's any point and click segments.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet, but I've been meaning to play it through on my channel. But it's kind of advertised and shown. It's
advertised as like a anime
as just like a regular old like visual novel, but it's really like, I don't know. Like I haven't played it, but apparently there's a lot of horror elements.
And it
really
breaks the fourth. It breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I think is the reason why a lot of people really were impacted by it a lot. A lot of people didn't think that games could affect them as much as this game does. Like to the point. Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I know a few of the things that happen. I don't know everything.
Is it like Higurashi, pretty much?
Oh yeah, I don't know actually. I know Higurashi, but I'm not sure. What is the game on GameCube that I'm thinking about?
Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness.
I also got to give it up to Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, Eternal Darkness was something special.
They did something that they did things that had never been done, like really fuck with the player by making it look like the volume on your TV was getting turned down.
Exactly.
By like,
that's what I mean. That's kind of stuff that I think that is the next step for a lot of horror games.
By like making you think like your save files all got deleted and your memory card was like corrupted and all that shit.
The horror right there.
Yeah, it would really fucked with you. It was such a cool game, dude.
Well, think about it. Yeah, if you're playing those kinds of games alone in a dark room that a lot of people like to set up the atmosphere for, that stuff, little things like that, definitely go a long way. Of like, what the fuck, this game just.
Especially back for that, it was like 2002.
Exactly.
For 2002, they did.
That's
crazy shit.
Time, man.
Yeah.
Very very cool.
Legit.
And then of course that led to stuff like Amnesia, because Amnesia played with a lot of, not that kind of wall breaking stuff, but like the walls would start to like do weird things, and then of course like. That was from Eternal Darkness as well.
Not a traditional horror game, but I also want to give a little bit of respect to the first Dead Space.
Dead Space is so good.
Dead Space is
amazing.
amazing.
And I want to do a playthrough of it, or at least stream it, because it's hitting its 10-year anniversary this year, which is crazy.
Yeah. Let me know.
I remember buying that game when it
How
first
long
came
is that
out.
game? I'd love to sit through with you to play through that, because that was one of the few horror games I did go all the way through and beat, because it's not really that scary, but it definitely puts you in very tense situations.
The opening is really like it's because it's so like you're so isolated. It really gave me like an Aliens vibe almost, because you're just alone on this fucking spaceship.
Yeah.
And
I never played
awesome.
2, never played 3, but I know it kind of started
2 is great. 2 is really good. I love 2.
Okay.
But no, 3's not very good.
It's a co-op aspect of it, right?
Well, they turned it into an action game. They Resident Evil did. The Resident Evil 6 did.
That's so sad. And now that studio is shut down.
There was like cover-based shooting segments.
What's the studio called again?
They were Visceral Games.
Visceral Games, that's right. They were very talented.
Yeah, well, and then they were
working on
Star Wars with Amy Hennig, and then they got the plug pulled.
So sad.
Which is very sad.
I really hope that
EA had a rough year, dude. For PR,
EA had a really rough year for PR, and then they really took a risk with games like Mirror's Edge, and then they didn't deliver. So I really hope that maybe in a few years we'll see a Dead Space return, because I feel like there's just so much with that franchise.
I don't know who would make it at this point from
stable. It's EA. EA has so many studios. They still own the IP.
True. But I mean, like if there's any time to do it, it's like Dead Space is hitting its 10-year. But I feel like it's too soon almost. So.
Yeah. Sometimes when you wait and you make that comeback, it's just enough to get
15 years sounds pretty good.
15
years. Yeah, it doesn't need to be an anniversary.
No, it doesn't.
but
like Dead Space 3 may have not have been great, but I don't think like Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 people still love. So I don't know. I think the main problem is just the landscape of gaming, not being single player focused and not telling, there's no big budget.
At the same time, there's a lot of companies like Bethesda that come out and say fuck you to that whole multiplayer thing.
Yeah.
So I think that it's still there. If you make a 15 to 20 hour experience, it's just the notion is now it's hard to make an 8-hour game.
But it's like it's EA though. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
So I would tell your favorite Dead Space was Dead Space Extraction on the Wii, Doug.
Yo. Like gun shooters? Come on, let's fucking go, dude.
I love the light gun shooters, man.
Time Crisis.
There's some House of the Dead.
House of the Dead Overkill was fucking gold. I want to buy a PlayStation Move just to play that on the PS3 because they brought it to the PS3.
I have PlayStation Move. We should play it one day.
Do you have it?
Yeah, well, because the PS Move.
No, but I'm saying, do you have Overkill?
You can buy it
I could
online.
probably get it.
Yeah, fuck, dude, because that's one.
You can probably find it for super cheap.
Like I should be excited about playing like VR and all this shit, but I want to play House of the Overkill on the PS3
Dude,
more than
because
anything.
There's an old video of me and Lou playing it on my channel.
Yeah.
And there's like a moment in the game because it's like grindhouse style and
Yeah.
it's like B movie and they do so much intentional shit that they make it look bad.
Yeah.
There's one point where this dude's in a wheelchair and he's wearing glasses and this guy just bitch slaps the shit out of him and knocks his
Dude, that-
glasses off. And then the very next scene his glasses are back on.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, this is gold, dude.
this is a dude.
Love that
I love that
shit.
they turned it into a grindhouse experience.
Yeah.
The developers.
I remember the first games were like, oh, so serious.
They
Yeah.
were, but they were so serious that it was to the point where it's so cringy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
funny. But the developers took the IP and just kind of played with that, which was
Mm-hmm.
so good. But the one reason I want to play it on the PS3 more than anything is because on the Wii, the game used to jitter a lot. It used to stutter. Because
It did.
for whatever reason, I guess the graphics were just too good for it, for the
That's the
Wii.
Wii, dog.
That every time you shot, there was this like, it was literally like a frame or two. You'd feel this
Shit
kind of
was
like
480p system, dog.
yeah, you'd feel the fucking chug, and that little chug alone kind of got you out of the game.
Of course.
So I'm really hoping, I haven't seen too much gameplay, and I'm hoping the PS3 version resolved that issue.
Most likely. Like
Mm-hmm.
they also did a couple of like-gun shooters for Resident Evil on the Wii as
That's
well.
right,
The
Umbrella
Umbrella
Corps.
Chronicles.
Oh, yeah.
And I have it in the Dark Side Chronicles.
That's right.
And then
Umbrella
they-
Chronicles, I didn't have fun with. I own a physical copy of
Really?
that too.
I
I think
enjoyed
I
it.
was I was having so much fun with House of the Dead and
Oh,
a
yeah.
few other more fast-paced shooters. Umbrella Chronicles was really slow.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
There was.
They released the House of the Dead 2 and 3, I think. The light-gun shooters, like the old school arcade ones.
Those are fun.
That,
man.
yeah, that's
They
the,
released
that's
it
the
on
one I was,
Wii.
that's the one I'm talking
And
about.
I have a hard copy of it, dude.
That's
That
what I
shit's so
owned
dope.
before, and an Overkill was announced, and I think I bought Overkill on the first day or some
Oh,
shit.
sick.
So I was really following House of the Dead for my short Wii life because there's nothing else to fucking play on the Wii, man.
Mario Party.
Oh man, Mario Party.
Ah,
was
The
most
Wii Mario
rough.
parties were
Which
rough,
I-
dude.
I mean, sure, there was like
GameCube
Twilight
and N64
Princess.
ones were where was that?
That's true.
Yeah, but Smash. I mean, we all know what happened to Brawl.
We had like a handful of gems,
Yeah,
but there was a whole lot of shovelware.
yeah,
You
like
know
there's
what
like
I
the Xenoblade games too that were
Yeah,
good. So
for sure.
good question though, really good question. Yeah, horror games definitely.
I could talk about horror games all day.
Yeah, definitely a really cool genre, and definitely one that I can also see going into the indie space a little bit more than
Yep.
we see AAA developers play with them. So,
Well, that's like Outlast, right?
like Outlast,
Outlast
exactly.
is-
Yeah.
Indie as hell. So thank you so much for the question.
Great question.
We're gonna
Great
jump
question.
in to some bucket barns,
Oh.
and we're almost out of our questions. So I think there's like 4 or 5 left in there.
There's
Oh,
5. That's 5 en français.
Francais.
Philly. Let's go, baby.
All right,
Let's go,
I'll-
Billy.
I'll-
Let
I'll
me
take
see that
one.
shit. Pick a good one, dog.
If you can travel back in time, what era would you visit? None.
Because we're just talking about what a day to live we live in.
I know. Why would I
Yeah.
want to go back when there's no plumbing?
Oh, well,
No
it
running
depends
water.
how far you want to go back. Dude, you could go back to the fucking 90s.
The 90s would be sweet.
I would love to go back to the 80s.
80s is-
Secretly, deep down, I think I should have been born 10 years earlier.
10 years earlier.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Because then I would have been a kid in the 80s. And being a kid in the 80s sounds dope. You got Transformers. You got G.I. Joe.
Got Dungeons and
You got
Dragons.
Dungeons and
You can
Dragons.
still do D&D now.
Yeah.
I'm still doing D&D.
You know, you got,
but it's so
Star
fresh at
Wars.
the time,
That's
you know.
true.
Yeah.
Star Wars was
still
still
fresh
super
now.
fresh.
Yeah.
You know? And then you could have been a teen in the 90s.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
And that would have been
true.
dope as hell, too. So that's why I think I should have been born 10 years earlier. Plus, I love 80s music.
I think that's where I would visit too, because as much as I'd love to go back to like the Cleopatra days and just to see what the world was like then, it's not a safe fucking place,
No,
man.
no, hell no.
Like,
Just bring a gun,
It's
and you're
just-
fine.
And then you're a god.
yeah,
And remember, this is just what would you visit?
visiting.
I would love to visit like oh fuck. Because yeah, if it's to live, I would probably say take me back to the 80s, but just make me born 10 years earlier.
Okay.
But to visit, that's a whole different question.
yeah.
I would just, like I said, give me a gun and a lot of ammo, and just go back and
that's it.
rule the world, man. For
Go
a day.
rule the world for a little bit.
Yeah.
Honestly, a part of me has always wanted to see Afghanistan in the '60s,
Oh shoot!
back
you're
when
right.
they were like, they were a place where hippies used to go to from America just to have a fun time. And
Really?
it was literally like it was a place where
It's very
people used to go.
progressive, wasn't it?
Progressive people used to vacation there. This is before the religious craze really got to Afghanistan. I mean, obviously it was around, but it wasn't really all taken over. I would love to have seen that, because the Afghanistan that my parents talk about is a very different one than it is today, obviously.
Yeah.
And they have such high hopes for it. So I would love to see that, to be honest, in terms of 60s thing. But yeah, I don't know if we go back in time, like, are we invincible, or can we die? Can we
it's
get
dangerous
mugged?
as fuck. Like,
It's very dangerous.
I go
to
back to like, I don't know, I go to back like fucking 19th century London or some shit.
Yeah,
That'd be
'cause
so fucking
someone
cool.
from me, like, even if I go
But Jack the Ripper would get my ass.
No, we would get his ass.
That's true.
We would shoot his ass.
even if I went to like the 1920s or something like that to just check
Yeah.
out, like, it'd be so much racism towards me, right?
1920 Chicago, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking mobsters after your ass.
Yeah, like it's really rough here, but there's a lot of other places I would love to see.
Yeah.
You know, like, it'd be amazing to not even be a weeb here, but to just see Japan and it's
Back in like in the samurai days.
yeah, just
Oh,
like
that'd be crazy, dude.
1800s,
Yeah.
1700s, just to see the development and the growth of that. But that's also so extreme because Japan was a very
If you
different
could
place.
just go there and just be a fly on the wall, just
Oh,
to
yeah.
see. You
That's
know what
true.
I mean?
I would definitely go to Egypt, go to Japan.
yeah.
I go back to like them, like China and shit, man. That
China would be
Imperial
really
City was
amazing.
amazing
yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah, China would be absolutely insane to see. Yeah,
Yeah, that's really cool.
very, very cool thing to think about. It's just something that's so. Oh, I get the
And
phone
so
now.
it's just like,
Yeah.
never gonna happen, but like just like to think
Let's
about,
see,
like
let's see.
fuck.
Yeah, hell, man. Even it sounds depressing, but just to see what people were going through during World War II
Sure.
would have been just something else too. Just something to appreciate everything we have today.
Yeah.
Oh, will you have kids?
Yeah.
Oh, Billy.
Yes.
Billy's gonna
Yeah.
have kids. How many kids, Billy?
2.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We agreed upon 2.
Those conversations have already happened. Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, Billy, man. Gonna
I'm
teach
turning
him
30 in like what 2 years?
so 30 is the new 20, dog.
No,
Fuck
it's
it.
not. My body's not. My body's breaking. Shit, I'm not recovering as fast now.
Yeah,
I have kids.
I have a soft spot for kids as well. I don't know. I'm not ready for it now.
No, me neither.
You
Don't
know,
worry,
I'm
you
still
guys-
gonna have to wait. And I know I will be ready for it sometime in the future, but I still ways away. But I don't know. You're spending time with Victor Lucas too, and just seeing how much his mindset and perspective has changed ever since he had a daughter.
Sure.
Was like really something magical too. Obviously you have to give up so much. Having a child is one of the most difficult things in the world, but it's definitely something special about it too. I'm sure.
I just
You
want
know,
to be
I
able
don't
to tell
know
like
from
really
experience.
lame dad jokes and shit, man.
Yeah.
Like my stance on it for the longest time was always no, fuck no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's it's not really like I would have one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And I don't know, and almost for like selfish reasons. I want to say like because I don't want to be some old fuck who's by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want someone to take care of me. I want a
gonna
legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And to be honest, you don't even know, like, throughout the process of it, you might fall in love with the idea of having it. Yeah,
sure.
you will never regret it.
And like
too, so.
you could say like I know, but I'm sure once I have one, like I'm
It
gonna.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
But just the thing about having a kid is you want to be as perfect as possible before you bring someone else into this world.
sure.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, like you just want to
Yeah, sure.
accomplish what you want to accomplish,
And,
have
like,
a decent income, and just
Part of my thoughts was also for the longest time was like there's too many fucking people in the world already.
I know.
So that's why I always like part of me was like I would just like adopt. a kid.
adopt. Yeah, no, that's totally
like, the longest
a
time. I would,
great
like-
way to think in today's
Yeah.
standards.
Instead of adding someone else when
Yeah.
there's already not enough to go
Yeah.
around.
That's
Just like,
totally something I would do as well
To
over
adopt
having a
instead.
kid. Yeah,
it's
it's-
definitely something I would consider.
it's just that genetic evolution in us
Sure.
that just wants us to pass on our genes. But honestly, the best way to think is to probably adopt.
My genes are amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. Loaded question.
Well, who wrote that question? You
Me.
can tell. Whoa.
Oh, Retel
Retel wants
Retel, you
kid,
gonna
that's
pull
why.
one out
No,
now?
I'm
then?
just because I want to see your
He's not
guys'
gonna pull
opinion.
it out. I'm gonna tell you that right now, man. He wants those kids.
Fucking Billy.
Retel ain't got good enough reaction time to always pull out in time. Man. He hasn't mastered that technique. Okay, I'm sorry, Retel. I'm sorry. Retel is, we call him the king of raw dog off camera.
That's what they say. The footage to prove
The
it.
king of raw dog.
Well, this is a question Lou wrote. This is not mine. What is your favorite thing from the 90s/2000s?
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. It's like something that's like not around anymore. What was something from
Nickelodeon.
the 90s or the 2000s? Nickelodeon? Dude, 90s Nickelodeon was godlike.
Exactly.
Fuck 90s Nickelodeon.
Go
was
back.
good, dude.
And watch like fucking.
Two things. I think I have. I mean, I love Disney's 2D cartoons.
Oh, yeah,
you know, like drawn cartoons, I should call them. I mean, they've been around before that
Like
as
Goof
well.
Troop and shit.
Goofy movie, yeah. I mean, I've been talking about like I think Aladdin was 1990
Yep.
exactly, right?
94.
Oh,
I
94,
believe.
yeah.
No, 94. Yeah.
No,
I mean,
no.
no, 93.
There's a lot of amazing movies in that time.
93.
But two, and I'm gonna sound like such an old man saying this.
You're an old man. You're like 20 something now.
Yeah, no, I'm
You're 26 this year.
26. Yeah, yeah. I
How
am-
old? Wait.
I am
How
26.
old are you? You're 27 this year.
20. I'm turning. I turn
26.
27. I'm gonna turn 27.
This
Yeah.
year, yeah.
You're
At
turning
the end of this
29,
year.
yeah.
I just
I'm
turned
turning
20.
29 this year, dude.
Yeah. It's
I'm
all
almost
good.
30.
It's good, man.
Fuck that shit.
But I don't know, the idea of like not having cell phones around.
Oh my god, 'cause mine was so similar to yours. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just everyone being so stuck into their phones and to technology, and hell, I'm guilty
True.
of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes I'm on the bus and or whatnot, and you'll just see, or on the train, and you'll just see everyone on their phone.
Yep.
Just everyone looking, and you're like, this. I can see why there's people in their 50s and 60s who see this, and they're a little bit
What the
bitter
fuck?
about it because they spent most of their life in an era where people were a little bit more social, and they were just a little bit, less about
Like-
what's with screens, I should say.
Like, yeah, like one of mine was like the life and age before social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, very,
Good-
very
and
special.
People,
Holding on to their privacy.
people would rather back that like before that would live more in the moment instead of let me capture this moment and post it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yo, let me take this picture of this food right here. That's my biggest pet peeve. It's like,
Yeah.
I just want
It's
to eat.
like social media. Like I find that I've really kind of distanced myself from,
dude. I try and
'cause it's-
do my best to literally not even check
and it's
Twitter
and it's
too
just
much.
so like a lot of like people you'll see from like your old friends or whatever. You're only seeing the good sides of them, of their lives. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and then
and
everyone
it's
else,
really unhealthy.
and then everyone else looks at that and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, my life is so
sucks.
shitty," and it's just this ongoing cycle of everyone who is going through rough shit, but only posting a lot of the
You're only-
positive.
yeah, no one's gonna post.
And then
fuck,
everyone else thinks that their life sucks because of what they see, and it's just
It's
such
really
a
unhealthy.
stupid.
And social
I should
media
just post
addiction's
like
a thing,
negative
dude.
posts. Like, shit that's
I mean,
not-
people do. There's definitely people do, and
Sure.
people
gonna do
usually
that.
unfriend those people or something because they don't want to
Wow.
say that shit. But it's definitely it's Bo Burnham is a comedian I was talking to you about that
Yeah.
I want you to listen to. And you guys who know Bo Burnham, he's amazing on-screen talent. He's not even a stand-up guy, but he's had a few pieces where his entire commentary was the fact that we're just living in a world of performers right now where we have all these outlets where everyone is just on and everyone's supposed to be performing all the time to other people, and it's just like this crazy range that we live in. That's just this crazy world that I don't know, is just we're the first and we are kind of the test subjects
Well,
to see how
I almost
fucked up we all end up.
I almost wonder what's gonna be the long term effects of social
Oh,
media.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's already been showing
Yeah.
there's already been statistics of this
People are
generation
less
being
social,
less social
don't
and
have
less
social skills.
a lot less happy.
Yeah.
That's definitely been proven.
Hey, man, depression's like up so much now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's definitely a thing that we took for granted, and something I really do miss a little bit too. It took me a while to get my first phone. Fuck, I got my phone.
Grade 12 was me.
Dude,
man.
kids get phones so young.
So
these
young,
days.
I
It's
know,
insane. I
I
got my
know.
first cell phone when I was like 7.
I'm seeing
16 maybe.
Yeah, grade 11.
I'm
grade
seeing
12,
like
when you first
Whitney's-
started your first
Whitney-
job.
Yeah, exactly.
seeing brothers and siblings of friends and everything, and they're they're 10, 12, and I'm like, whoa, they got iPhone 10s and shit.
Yeah.
They got a nicer phone than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I wanted to talk to one of my friends, I couldn't just message them. I couldn't
Yeah.
just slide in on the DMs. I'd go and call their house.
Yeah.
Their fucking house.
And can you
Are
imagine
they there? No.
that
Okay.
Okay.
that sudden dose of dopamine? Always just it's something you get so used to from such a young age that you'll never be able to drop it when you're in your 20s or your 30s. It's that's forever with you. You're always looking for that little bit of satisfaction, looking on Twitter, looking on Facebook, looking at that post, just to kind of get that quick,
Quick like.
that quick rush of dopamine that doesn't last, right? It's really bad. It's really
Kids don't know how to
it's-
play these days, man.
Yeah,
They don't know how to play. They don't know how to use their imagination.
It's something else.
Anything else from the 2000s? I got another one. We're getting real deep here.
Deep, yeah. There's probably so
I got
much that
I got
miss.
another one, and it was just the act of going to rent a movie at Blockbuster.
Oh, that's a very, very good one. Very, very good one.
I fucking missed that.
Hey,
shit.
man, if you want to live in Alaska, they still have Blockbuster going all ham there. Apparently, the Blockbusters thrive there.
Really?
Yeah, there's a
'Cause they-
Vice did a
have-
really good documentary for any guys listening. Watch it.
Is it because their internet infrastructure is not?
The
as good?
internet infrastructure is too expensive, and it's just not good enough. So to do things like Netflix and everything is just not.
It's not
I think
good.
they have Blockbusters there, but they are fucking like they thrive. Like people go all the time.
Dude,
so.
oh man, just like when we go to like Blockbuster on the weekend, that shit was a religious event for me. Okay,
Yeah,
like I would
yeah.
go, I'd rent a game, we'd rent a movie to watch that night. It's so funny because your brother Boris used to work at
He
Blockbuster.
did, yeah, dude, that was the life.
That was the life, man.
Being the sibling of someone who worked at
Yeah,
Blockbuster
dude.
means you get 10 free rentals a week, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I saw and played fucking everything,
Oh my
dog.
God.
I played all the fucking games, man. I could have had my own review channel when I was fucking 14.
And then you
or
let me
15.
borrow it, right? And then yeah.
Oh yeah, it was totally illegal at the time, but yeah, Boris was totally just giving shit to friends. Like, hey, no, make sure you give this back though.
Yeah.
But because like I remember being like 15 years old going to Blockbuster. I was like, hey Boris, what's up?
Yeah.
And that's how Boris like was introduced to like my dad and stuff. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
That's awesome. No,
Those
it's
are-
really
yeah.
cool because the one thing that he would always talk to me about was the sense of community too, of how
Yeah.
you just got to know so many
The
people
regulars,
and
right?
got to talk to
The
them
regulars.
about movies, and there was something about going there, picking out a movie you've never seen before, and even if you've seen it, when you return your movie, you talk about it, and you have this kind of one-to-one social interaction.
There's no Netflix, dude. You
no
pick your
Netflix
movie
and
and
all
that's
that
the
stuff.
movie you're watching.
Very special and something that will never come back.
No, it's really sad.
It's
'cause
really sad. Yeah,
it was such a big like part of my childhood.
it is. Yeah.
I'd go like every
Something so
other
special
weekend.
on like going on a Friday and be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna go get this game.
Or
I
like,
can't wait."
or we'd be like 15 or whatever, and I had a bunch of my friends. We'd go to the movie store and we'd pick a movie, a horror movie,
Yeah.
you know, and
We
like,
didn't know like the reviews.
we didn't know.
too.
We had to. Does this one look scary?
Yeah.
That
from the
that
box
was
art,
it.
man. The
That
people
was
who
it,
made
dude.
box art in those days were probably like the
Oh, they're
Hollywood
very
stars.
valuable, dude.
Yeah.
We're like, is this good? And then we watch like, this is fucking garbage, man.
Yeah.
But then we make fun of it, and then it's like an inside
part of the
joke for like
experience.
2-3
Yeah.
2-3 years.
The funny thing back then too, I can't say a specific example, but when there were big movies that came on DVD at that time, there were always some other like small studios that try and release a movie with a similar name
Yeah.
to release at the same time as that movie, just so that when people went and picked up movies, they'd pick the wrong movie. Like
Did you get Armageddon?
Yeah,
I got
I-
fucking Deep Impact, dog. Shit.
so like no, there was a lot of I can't think of one particular, but some of you guys, if you do some research, you'll find some movies that use the exact same font as a movie that just came out, or like a very similar name. It's
Yeah.
so it's dirty, man.
It's dirty.
The movies,
Yeah.
they're pretty funny though.
Yeah,
They're pretty funny movies.
Rest in peace, Blockbuster. That was
Yeah.
such a big part of my life, dude.
Yeah. One more question?
No, I think we're running on time.
Running
Yeah.
on
We only got
memory
so
card.
much recording space left.
Yeah.
We've been recording all fucking night, dude.
We have,
and
yeah.
my memory cards are almost full, so we got to wrap this shit up, ladies and gentlemen. Again, shout outs to our patrons over at patreon.com/top tier podcast. If you guys think that our 4 hours of free podcast content is worth a couple bucks every single month, head over to patreon.com/top tier podcast and support us over there. Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Behr. Thanks to you guys for watching. Peace out.
Woo! See you guys.